The Kiwi squad for this Saturday's test against Samoa at Go Stadium on Sunday night has just dropped, and we're going to break that down for you right now, guys. Look, it's a pretty solid team all round. Not many surprises, and maybe some actually are surprises going back to some old players that some may not have expected. We'll break that down for you as we go along, but that's pretty much a core nucleus of the Kiwis team that's been playing for the last probably 3 to 4 years, actually, probably World Cup, and now going into the new phase post match. It's pretty consistent. A few that have come back from 2023, a lot that missed 2024. Now with 2025, we've got a few more back, which is great to look at as well. So we'll break that down for you right now. But as I look at it, pretty strong. Let's start with our back five, actually. Chancellor Clockstead. This will be a big one for people that maybe disagree with this. Is Chance the right guy? A lot of people saying Kenny. Kenny's the man to go with. Kenny, more X Factor, more speed. We actually saw it last year, the explosive speed that he had. And it's the same argument with Warriors fans that Tane Tuopiki's smaller X Factor type speedy fullback is better option than Chance. Whereas Chance is your more yardage, defensive type. He'll keep giving you meters throughout the game. Not explosive, not necessarily too attacking either. And might be a little bit different with a bit more talent around him. Let's see what happens. But the steady hand, 2023, we know that was a massive year for Chance, but it's been 2 years since then. It's been a long time. But I'm hoping he can have a big game. But I agree with a lot of people that will disagree that he's the right option. Should have gone with Kenny there. On the right wing with Jermaine Isako. Jermaine's always that consistent, solid player. He's always safe, in my opinion, and he's a goal kicker. Very good goal kicker, in my opinion. And we need him on the field to kick goals. I don't think we've got many other options, to be honest. So he's going to be providing those 2 points as we need them. And in a Kiwis jersey, I always think he's Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. Timoko, we know he's been ups and downs, rocks and diamonds. We know how explosive he can be, though. He has speed, he has pace. Last year in the Kiwis jersey, he struggled a little bit defensively, had a few defensive lapses. Wasn't his best series. Again, a guy in 23 I thought was massive. But again, he's coming from a Canberra year where in 25 they had a massive season. We're hoping he can carry that team form with them. Casey McLean, on the other hand, was sensational throughout the year, or the second part of the year, as he settled in as a left centre. And he started to really come on the scene in those last couple rounds. And even in the finals, I thought he did a wonderful job. Look, he got an intercept try that could have led to the Penrith Panthers making to the finals. I thought he was good in all the situations that he came up against. Defended well against Critter, shut down a lot of other marquee centres. So that, for me, excites me with a Ronaldo Mulitalo, who, to be fair, has matured a bit, has really had some consistent runs at the Sharks. He seems to really be coming into his prime, mature, kind of level-headed phase. Still has his errors in him, always has his deficiencies. But explosive speed, you can see that channel Casey McLean and Ronaldo. They could be a really, really good back five. It's not a super big meter eaterage back five, but it still provides, well, apart from Chan, still provides pace, express pace. If it can get on the outside, early shifts, get them in open play, get them in set plays. Casey, we know what he can do on the left edge. You can go combine that with a Ronaldo. It can be really effective. And likewise, Timoko and Jermaine can do stuff as well. I'm thinking Tomoko will go right side and leave Casey McLean. It could change. We don't know quite yet. But I'm really, really interested to see that back five up against a Torsar Moore back five that will be yardage based. They'll be physical. So our back five will have to match it. And I think they will, to be honest. Then you got the halves and hooker combo. And this is really the nucleus of the attack. Is so important. You have to have, we got Dylan Brown back after 2023. This isn't a Dylan Brown that's coming from a Parramatta where he's super confident. We knew what he could do in that finals with a Moses around him. It's real kind of, he's going to Newcastle now where he'll kind of sit in his halves play. He got dropped a few times, played in the centre, wasn't used. So it was a real mixed bag year for Dylan as he transitions to the Newcastle Knights. Maybe this might be the boost that he needs to get himself just ready for the next year. But would love to see him really lift his performance. I'm not expecting much, to be honest, but they could hit the ground running. They're a halves partnership that have kind of been with each other on and off, but mainly Dylan and Jerome. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can offer. Kieran, look, Foz, he's put his hand up. We consistently have trouble with halves, and that's probably a deeper lying issue with Kiwis. We don't have many halves, to be honest. And Foz has said, like Sean Johnson last year, I'll put my hand up. I'll do something for the team. He'll give that heart. He'll give that leadership. Foz is actually someone I see as a future Kiwis coach, or even an assistant coach. I think he's born for that type of stuff. He has a great story, and he would love to cap it off by winning Pacific Champs, being part of that. So let's see what he's got. He's got some more left in the tank. My only concern was with both of them is actually injuries, and we don't have much halves cover. Although I did see Tamari Martin coming in into the team photo, so Tamari could be their backup for Kieran. And Jeremy Marshall King, he hasn't played since the World Cup in 2022, and even then he wasn't the starting hooker. I think at the time it was Smith. Geez, this is his time now. For me, I've been dying for him. He's been injured the last two off seasons. He's finally fit, and I've been dying for him to put together um, a hooking role to match. Not saying he's better than a Harry Grant, but we need to be obviously the next best. He needs to be the next best hooker in international football outside of Harry Grant to compete. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in terms of attack. We've had makeshift hookers, Fatamanu Brown, Kieran Foran, for the last couple of years. It's time we got a pro hooker. I'd love to see what he can do, create at the line. He'll have his options. He will have his options to Kieran, who'll probably lead the team around. Dylan will play out the back. But I like to see his options at marker, see what he can play around the. Now, he'll have options that will draw. He can dummy and go. He can play short. He can play out the back. There's a lot of quality in those three there. And I think those three needed to get on the same page early and quickly in terms of setting up their goal line attack, setting up yardage, setting up little shifts early in sets. So it's exciting to see what they provide. Now, the big talking point is the engine room. And look, it's a pretty decent engine room when you break it down. Fisher Harris and Leota. Now, Fisher Harris is a Warriors fan. A lot of mixed bags, mixed reviews about his performances. He does seem, when you look at it, to be a 1-2 duo type guy. And he's coming back with his triple OG duo of Moses Leota. That, for me, spells consistency, strong ruck defense. They'll provide some yardage, but not massive yardage. But they'll just provide quick play. Like Fish, when you really look at his types of runs, he's a quick in and out type guy. Make your hit, make a little bit of separation, fight to the ground, posture up, get up. Moses, another one type, hit hard, create separation, leg drive, get back up. And defensively, lock everything up tight, cinch it up, slow that play the ball down. So those guys, I think, will not be massive carrying forwards, but they'll be defensively sound. Got to deal with the Payne Haas, Josh Papali'i, Terrell May. Tuapine will be your big carrying lock through the middle, and we'll get to the bench as well. But Tapine, that's your driver. He's the key enforcer, intimidator from a run threat type of thing. Physically, he's very important to the Kiwis, matching it with other teams. Without him, I think we look a lot smaller. So Tapine is massive in my opinion. On the right edge, great to have Britton Nikota back in this team. His line running, his defensive work, one of the best in the comp. Surprisingly, got dropped from the Sharks towards the end of that campaign. But that doesn't impact or view what I think of him. I think he's a quality back row. I'd take him any day at the Warriors. Line runs, defensive work. I love what he does. Isaiah actually had a really good year actually with the Panthers. He rounded out. I think he comes into this Kiwis campaign much, much more solid and much more consistent. I think he'll be benefited from his time under Ivan. He'll play long minutes, I'm sure of it, and he'll be consistent in his role. The engine room looks pretty good. Pretty much, you probably could have gone with a Sorensen, but that's again a like for like kind of grinded out type back rower. But I like what they're doing there. I think it's decent. I think it's going to be solid, defensively sound, and keep everything locked up because this Toa Samoa and Tonga team, they're much better than what they were 2 or 3, 4 years ago. So we have to compete and keep up with these guys. And on the bench, you got Phoenix Crossland, probably looked at as more as the weak link. He's not really an impact type of player that gives you super boost off the bench that you're really worried about coming on the field. But he'll cover the roles. He'll help at hooker. He can play in the halves a little bit. He can play a lock type role there. So Phoenix is that utility guy. We're going to go with him. It's his second year under Stace. Let's hoping he continues to build his confidence in combinations. But I'm wondering if he'll get much minutes. Depends on JMK. Depends on other rotations that we have. We got Aaron Clark at locks. I'm not sure if he's needed much, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, Fahu White, he's a beast. We saw him on the Terrell May podcast talking about his passion for the Kiwis, representing his country. And I think he's another class player that we need on their bench. Could be a starter if you really wanted to be. I think he started last year without Moses Leota, and is a great player. Now off the bench, mate, I expect him to do a long stint. I expect Fish and Leota to do that 2025. Now Fahu can come on, and Aaron can come on. Aaron, absolute beast, LEM lock of the year. Two of the best locks in the game actually with Aaron and Joseph. Let's see how they rotate them, how they use them. But there should be plenty of punch to kind of combat Toa Samoa and Tonga in this series. But I do like that. And Nelson, the ever elusive Nelson, this is the most polarizing kind of decision under Stace. A lot, actually, myself included, would prefer Willison get debuted and get those minutes. But Nas, he's backed him. Stace has gone with him. We'll be interested to see how he's used. Look, I think Nas, give him 15, 20 minutes. Enforce, dominate. The problem with the 15, 20 minutes, though, you might get a penalty, you might get a sin bin, you might get 2 knock-ons, you'll get a 6-again infringement. So it has to balance itself out correctly. It has to be used at the right time, and he comes on and makes a positive impact. I don't want to label Nas. I know Nas has been labeled. When you get ridden of by the storm, it makes you diminish the player. Is he still... is his performance dropped off a cliff? Is he got no longer the legs or the strength? I don't think so. I think Stace believes in him. But it's that mentality. He'll be an enforcer. We just don't want sin bins. In today's game, enforcers, they're kind of getting taken out of the game. You need to provide long minutes, clean tackling game, clean tackle technique. That's kind of the modern forward. But in maybe the international space with 10 interchanges, I think it's still 10 interchanges, I believe, you can use a NAS for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes. And maybe that's the difference in terms of maintaining that forward pressure. Anyway, guys, that's the team there. Let me know what you guys think. I think, again, it's a solid team. My only argument would have been maybe Kenny as a kind of an X factor. But the way I'm looking at this team, I think there's a need for yardage a little bit. We're coming up against an RTS, a To'o. Those guys will be having massive yardages, and they've got a better kicking game. I don't think Kieran or Dylan have a super long kicking game. So I'm expecting Toa to actually win that battle. That's maybe Stace saying, I need a bit more yardage from my fullback to keep us in the game. That's just a theory, guys. I'm thinking off the top of my head. Maybe that's why he's gone with Chance. If it looks like he's gone for a kind of a grinded out team, field position, trying to stay in the grind, keep it tight. It looks really solid. And again, the guys that come back from 23 that missed out, the likes of Brittany Quarter, I think will provide that solidity in the back row. But let me know what you guys think. Is this the team that's going to fall short? Is Tor going to actually do one on us? Bro, you just never know. These teams are really quality. We'll break down the Tor team as well very soon. But let me know what you guys think. And before you leave, hit that like and subscribe to Wires Up TV. Stay safe, people. Up the Kiwis, as always. And we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.